forgot, but it's all right. We got the chat working. Welcome, everybody. Hopefully this works this time. Third time's the charm. I've been having issues. Screen view still. Oh, there it goes. Okay. It's just taking its sweet time. All right. Good. We are good to go. All right. Sorry, I was having some technical difficulties getting the stream going. If you are rewatching this and you're not joining it live, I'm going to give it a few minutes to let some people come in here, and we are going to cover everything that's going on in the market right now. We've had quite the big push in crypto today, and there's several things that are affecting that. We have the ETFs that have gone live. Those are playing a part, but they're only a part of the bigger story right now. So that being said, I will give it a couple minutes and let people come in. If you want to skip ahead to about, the 5-minute mark or so, just to give people some time, and then we'll get rolling. If you're here already, please sign off in the chat so I know who is here, and we will get everything going. Once we get some people coming on here and in here, if I could learn how to talk today, we are up to 224 right now and climbing. We got up to as high as 228.5, and it is surging right now. So please, if you are here, hop in the chat, let me know, and we will continue moving along with this here in just a couple minutes. Again, just giving people time to hop in the chat, giving people time to hop in the stream, and we will cover all the news because there's quite a bit, and I've already started pulling it up. So we do have some massive ETF inflows. How's everyone doing today? I need an active chat. If you guys are hopping in, if you're new to my stream, I need an active chat before I start moving into everything. Do we have anyone here? Any of my regular people here? Anyone here from this morning? Miss Wendy, hello, hello, hello. Welcome, welcome. What are you here for watching, Miss Wendy? Are you here for XRP or are you here for Bitcoin? What's got you interested in crypto pumping today? I typically cover XRP, but I have a feeling I might be getting a few more people in here today given everything that's been going on with the market crashing and coming back and all kinds of information going on about, treasuries getting reclassified and all kinds of stuff. So what brings you here, Miss Wendy? What are you here for today? XRP, Bitcoin, Ethereum, all of the above, stock market? And again, if you guys are here, this is not financial advice. Nothing here is financial advice. This is for educational and entertainment purposes only. I'm just trying to, hopefully you dislike Bitcoin. Me too. Well, kind of. I hold Bitcoin, I'll be honest, but I'm fearful that Bitcoin may fall off a cliff in the near future. My personal opinion, not financial advice. My chair moved on me. Sorry about that. But let's go ahead and hop into it. I think I don't know how many people are in the stream. I can't see. Can you cover if this is a pump or short-lived? Okay, that's what you're wanting to know. That's what everyone's wanting to know. And honestly, that's why I created the stream. So why are we pumping? Everyone wants to know why we're pumping. Let's go ahead and pull up the chart here. We'll look at XRP. And the reason I immediately came on and wanted to stream is because I saw something happen. And this is more of a technical indicator as far as this goes, but I think it's important. So I am on, right here, I'm on the 5-minute chart. I'm going to move to the 1-hour chart. And this is what I want to explain all this. This is context, okay? Chart is context, but this is important for me to explain exactly what I think is happening right now and tie it all together and make it make sense, okay? So if we go back and look at the chart, if we're looking at technical analysis, this is the 1-hour chart, okay? As you can see, we got into this overbought area right here. Usually when we get into this overbought area, it starts to pull back. However, there is potential for price discovery during this time. And if we look at the volume spikes of what's happening, there's massive buying volume. And when we had this little pullback here, there was very, very little sell volume. Here, high amount of sell volume. Look at how much we lost in price for this sell volume. And then look at this, how much we lost in price. So the pressure is definitely building up. And you can see that in the RSI indicator right here when we are considered oversold or overbought, and we get into price discovery. Why is this important? Now I'm going to get into it. So I'm going to move this down to the 5-minute chart. And if we look at the 5-minute chart, you can see here, we got into this overbought zone right here at a price of 219. And then we came up to the same overbought zone right here, but our price now is what? Higher. It got up to 228. So what it was doing is it was cooling so it can ramp back up. And I think that's what we're having right now. It's cooling down now. We had a nice little fall off. We're pulling all the way back down to 223. You can see that we are back at 45 RSI, which means it can go either way. And this is exactly what I was wanting to get on here and catch, was this point, this inflection point right here. If you want to know if we're going to continue to pump, or if you want to know if we're going to fall and see what our new support is, we're going to find out within the next 20 minutes. But by the time this closes, so here's the key. If we hold 220, we're going to go up. In my opinion, again, not financial advice, this is just my opinion. But if we hold 220, it's going to go up. If we fall below 220, it's going to go down. It's going to be that simple. 220 is going to be our new support right now. We need to hold that. It already looks like it's turning around. We are no longer overbought. We are firmly in the middle at 49.66. So right now the market is deciding what it's going to do with its last 20 minutes. We had a wonderful run up all day. So the question is there more room? Or the question is, are we going to pull back further and we went too far today? So we are going to find out in the next 20 minutes. That's what I wanted to point out. So we're going to have this here. I'm going to take off of it for now. But because we just entered extended hours. The market closed 11 minutes ago. I wanted to get on here before the market closed. I was trying to. Yeah, take two, right, George? I was trying to get on. That's actually take three. I tried 3 times to get this live stream up. I was having some massive difficulties for whatever reason. But that being said, if we hold 220, we have room to go up. And we have had all of, a full day of ETFs now, and I'll bring those up here in a minute as well. And I'm going to see what they show. Now, a lot of people talk about price and they talk about inflows and they talk about those things as far as putting pressure and building. I have always said and have on every single one of my live streams when we're tracking these ETFs, I go to look and see how much XRP is physically being held in the ETF. Because to me, that's what's being removed from supply. And the XRP being held in the ETF is not available for sale, right? So that is gone from supply. Okay, just like if it was you or me putting it in our cold wallets and we had no intention of selling it, right? So gone from supply. That's what we've been tracking. Oh, and as we can see here, hang on, I'm going to scoot right over here. As we can see here, it is rebounding and moving back up. So it looks like this is the beginning of a pump. We need to, I'm going to scroll in here. This is the 5-minute chart. Again, nothing on the 5-minute chart is official. We want to look for an hour chart. But that being said, let's go to the hour chart real quick. Okay. So in our hour chart here, we never lost EMA 9. So there's room for this to come back, right? Because we just need to stay above this blue line. This is EMA 9. For me personally, again, not financial advice, but for me, XRP follows the EMA 9 very, very, very well. So it very well may pull back to this, which would probably be around the 220 mark that I was talking about earlier, because it would, this would come up and this would come down. So it'd probably meet in the middle around 220, 221. So if it were to come down, it might be in that area. I'm expecting it to bounce off and go up. My opinion, that's what I'm looking at. But as you can see on the 1-hour chart, we are still overbought, whereas on the 5-minute chart, we are not overbought. So we are still in price discovery at this point. If you widen it out and look at it from a more macro scale, we are still in price discovery at this point. 220, we need to hold it. That's it. Now, ETFs. So a lot of people, again, I mentioned that, I firmly believe it's what's being effectively removed from supply that's important. So that being said, I will start pulling that stuff up for you. I don't have it pulled up here right off the cuff because I was having issues getting the stream up, and I was trying to get it up before the market closed because I wanted to show that. But nonetheless, I can still pull this up here for you. Where's Bit? I'm going to start with Bitwise, if I can find Bitwise. Why can I not find their website all of a sudden? Come on now. Sorry, guys. Sorry for the dead air. I'm fixing it. How's everyone doing today? Hopefully everyone's feeling good. They got their bags pumped, right? Let's see here. Bitwise's website. Bitwise's website. Where are you at? How come I Google Bitwise, I have to go through 2 pages to find their actual website? 3 pages. That is annoying. Can I just go to bitwise.com? Holy crap. Does that work? Nope, that's not it either. Well, sorry, technical difficulties. Give me a moment. This is stupid. All right, I'm going to pivot real quick. I'm going to skip away from Bitwise. I'm going to come back to that. Let me go to Grayscale and see if they updated their holdings. Because earlier today, Grayscale showed they had 6 million. Yeah, see, I type in Grayscale, it's the first one that comes up. You would think that would be how it would work, but you know, whatever. Investment products, ETFs and ETPs, and we want to see XRP. Those are ETPs. We want equity ETF. No, not equity ETFs. Where's your, oh, Grayscale. Hang on. Where's your XRP ETF, Grayscale? I pulled this up earlier. Guys, I'm sorry. I'm so unprepared. I apologize. Wow. I am like all over the place. There it is. Okay. Man, I'm losing my brain. They don't have any information on this whatsoever. One day market price. They haven't updated it at all. Here we go. Yeah, still showing 6 million XRP in total trust. So Grayscale has not shown they removed anything yet. Why was Grayscale so small today? It showed like 3 million this morning and wasn't moving much. This morning it showed they had 6 million and it hasn't updated yet. They don't update that. This isn't a live update. So we probably won't see anything else until tomorrow morning. Sometimes they update it at the end of the day, Janine. That's a very good question. And I'm going to get to the chat, guys. Stay active. Keep going. As you have questions or as things come up, please throw it in there. Cause when I get a space, I'm definitely going to come to it, but I was having a little issue getting the information pulled up that I wanted to pull up here. But yeah, it's showing 6 million XRP being held in Grayscale. So that being said, so we got Grayscale. I want to see if Franklin Templeton updated theirs because they didn't have any information in theirs at all either this morning, which is odd to me. Usually they would have something, but they didn't have anything. And Franklin Templeton's website, see, one of the fourth ones that come up, but we don't, you know. Investments, their website's kind of weird, but this is cool too. You guys can see how to find this information yourself. It showed 3 million this morning and wasn't moving much. Go to this. No, wait, I don't know what you want me to look at, Janine. The website I linked has it all. I'm sorry, I don't have your website. I'm operating through OBS, not through YouTube, so it doesn't give me links. I'm sorry. That's why. I did not see your link. I apologize. Let's take a look here. So I'm pulling up. Sorry, I got derailed there. Janine, I'm sure it's very good information. I would love to be able to pull it up. I just can't. I'm sorry. But moving along, I'm going to pull up the Franklin Templeton XRP ETF and see if they have updated theirs at all. Okay. I'll pull it up here in just a second. Let me see. Since I'm here right now, I'm just going to click this and then I'll pull that up. And no, they have not updated their XRP in fund yet. So, is it xpmarket.com? I'm trusting you, Janine. You've been in every video. I'm trusting you. xpmarket.com. Oh, yeah, I actually saw a tweet on this yet. I just hadn't got a chance to check it out yet. But yeah, I actually saw this. Let's see here. AMM pools, DEX, okay. Marketplace, workbench, rewards, loot box, framing, markets. I'm not seeing any XRP ETF information, Janine. Where should I be? Look, oh, ETF tracker. Here it is. Right on the side. I just wasn't paying attention. Sorry about that. I guess I should accept the cookie use. All right, cool. Let's look at this together. I am learning right now, Janine. I saw a tweet on this very thing, and I just didn't look into it yet because I was prepping something else. But so let's see here. Yellow is the volatility shares. Okay, so that's we want to look at the non. Is there a way to make this just spot? Because this has futures and spot included in it. But you can see the bitwise right here. And so, yeah, I mean, you can see the flows since release and since the new ones came in here. There's been a definite surge. The T-Cream, which is the twice leveraged XRP ETF. So not a spot ETF, but it definitely had a lot of volume to it. This is all volume. Okay. This is a wonderful chart. So if you are interested in the trading volume and what is actually flowing in, oh yeah, there you go. If you're interested in the trading, derivatives, leverage, okay, yeah, this breaks it all down. This is amazing. XRP spot, okay, spot, wonderful. So they got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Including the Rex Osprey. What's this Amplify XRP ETF? XRPM. I'm not even familiar with this stuff. You guys just educated the crap out of me. George, Janine, thank you. Amplify XRP ETF did 15 million in volume. I never even heard of that. And then the derivatives and leverage, XXRP. This is a great tool. Thank you. This is a great tool. Institutional landscape, XRP ETF potential, BlackRock not yet filed. Grayscale Live, Fidelity not yet filed. 21 shares is still pending. Van Eck not filed. So yeah, I mean, this is really what we're waiting for, the big three. BlackRock, Fidelity. Can you imagine a Fidelity XRP ETF and what that would do to the supply, everybody? My goodness. So yeah, 21 shares will be going live this week. Massive inflows. One dude you were watching commented why Grayscale was only at 3 million. He wasn't sure why. That snuck in under the radar. No, I mean, I don't know why Grayscale. Honestly, what would make sense to me is if they're holding because the price was going up. Maybe they were expecting another pullback, another sell the news event, so no one jumped in out of the gate. They kind of just were waiting and seeing what happened. Possibly that would make sense to me on maybe why they might be a little gun shy coming out the gate. But that being said, first and foremost, well, second, third, fourth time I probably said it, thank you for such a great tool. xpmarket.com/ETF. You can track everything here. Great piece of information for what the hell do you guys need me for now? But no, that's a fantastic piece of information. I will be bookmarking that tool for sure. So we're going to hop out of that. It's because it's valued at a higher price, $42 compared to Franklin. So again, remember the pricing is the pricing is based on the basket, right? The pricing is going to be based on the basket. So one XRP ETF can be holding 5 XRP and be valued, at one price versus another XRP ETF. Each share could hold 20 XRP and be valued at a different price. It's just, so really that's the difference in the prices of the ETFs. It's just a matter of the size of the contract and how many XRP are being held in that contract. Finally go, no, we need you. It is a one-stop shop. So that being said, why are we going up? It's not just the ETF pressure. There's renewed, the entire tech sector is up. Okay. The entire tech sector is up right now. And the reason for that is because of increased sentiment in AI and increased sentiment in tech stocks. I'll pull it up for you. I actually may have deleted off. I think I deleted it off when I was trying to pull up the ETF stuff. I had an article pulled up about I am just so unprepared today. But I had an article pulled up about all of that, actually. Let's see, stock. I'm just going to Google stock market here. Well, I'll pull you guys into the screen view. We're going to Google stock market and see what comes up in the news. The Dow Jones today, stocks closed. So the Dow closed down while all tech sides were up. S&P rips 1.6% higher. NASDAQ rises nearly 2%. 2.7% as Musk tweets Tesla higher stock. We had wins in Tesla and AI. So the entire tech sector is up. And the reason the entire tech sector is up is because there was renewed optimism in rate cuts coming in December. Ultimately, that's what it is. So that was what was leading the tech rally. So but there is still some negative implications here. A lot of people were warning and have been warning of an AI stock bubble, it says right here, AI rally could end in tears. So could the bottom fall out? And again, that's what we're talking about. Is this a pump or is it immediately going to fall? So yes, Fed is supposedly going to be lowering rates, and Japan, don't forget, is supposed to be hiking in December. If you guys know what that means, you know. So U.S. stock market crash warning. Albert Edwards, the global strategist at Societe Generale, so this is a non-U.S., is raising an alarm over the U.S. equity market, warning that today's tech and AI-driven rally may be setting the stage for a painful crash known as the perma-bear. Edwards cautions that while history often repeats itself, the current cycle is different and could have far-reaching consequences for the economy and everyday investors. So what they're warning about, and what a lot of people haven't talked about, and this is, of course, this is separate from crypto, and I'm gonna bring you guys back here. And if you follow larger macroeconomic trends, foreclosures are up 20%, unemployment's at 4.3%, the highest it's been since COVID. The stock market's doing well because of AI and tech stocks. The real economy is not good right now. And basically what a lot of people are fearful of is that, the stock market's basically in this bubble of bliss from AI and tech stocks, and it's not really reading the real economy in our country. And as private credit and all these things start to wobble, it could all collapse and fall out from under us, and that would be everything, and that would be very, very bad. And honestly, when we're talking about XRP and we're talking about these things, it fixes these issues. So that being said, I believe, not financial advice, by the way, everyone. That being said, I believe we are in the pump right now, and we're going to stay in the pump for a while for XRP. Again, from the beginning, if you've been with me for a while, I have always said that I believe that XRP was going to start appreciating as we had ETFs come into play and start pulling in the flows at the end of November into December through the end of the year. You can quote me a million times on that. So my story has not changed. I still think that's what's going to happen. But But there's a very real chance of a recession. We are already in a bear market. There's lots of macroeconomic pressure. Okay. All of those things being said, I don't think it's going to stop the ETF inflows. ETF inflows are still going to pull, regardless of how bad the market is. ETF inflows are still going to pull XRP from the supply, and utility is still going to come. Adoption is happening. We're still waiting on a Fed master account. We're still waiting on a bank charter. These things do not change regardless of the broader macroeconomic shift. So because of that, I do not think we fall below $2 again. Me, personally, not financial advice. Again, I could be wrong, but that is what I think, believe, and feel right now. I think we are moving to the upside. And that's it. I've put my money where my mouth is. I've said the same thing over and over. That's where I think we're at. If I'm wrong, we're going to find out real quick, aren't we? So, with all that being said, I'm going to hop into the chat right now. I've explained all the macro sentiment that's happening behind this and everything controlled in it. I've covered the Bitcoin bubble, or the Bitcoin volume bubble ad nauseum in multiple streams. We're seeing everything play out in real time as we speak, right on the timeline that I was predicting. I see no reason to change my mind. But with that, I'm hopping into the chat. So Miss Wendy, I dislike Bitcoin. Can you cover that the pump is short-lived? I just answered that. Hi, mate from the UK. I'm all about XRP. How's today's ETFs looking? We covered that. ETFs are looking great. Is it the reason for the XRP pump? I think the reason for today's XRP pump, if you missed it, was because of the overall broader macroeconomic element of, renewed optimism for Fed rate cuts, as well as ETF pressure. It's a combination of the two. And we saw a massive run up today. I mean, we closed on Friday at $1.90 and we got up to 228.5 today. Just to give you perspective of the sentiment shift that's happened over the last few days. Let's see here. Is it the reason for the pump? We are so back. George, I agree. Take 2, take 3. Yep. Do you think the multipliers will help move the price in the next few days? The multipliers, I think we will see the multipliers come into effect when supply gets a little more thin. Sorry, I'm getting a spam call. Let me close that. I don't think we're really going to see the multipliers until supply gets a little bit more thin, because with ETF inflows, right, what a lot of people didn't account for is the authorized participants, the money makers, the OTCs, the dark pools. We have to get through all of that first before we see these kind of inflows affecting, exchanges and the real spot price. We have to thin out the supply before we can really see that have an impact on the multiplier effect, because the multiplier effect is still all going to be retail, derivatives, and futures based until we run out of OTC and dark pool stuff. I know a lot of people probably didn't want to mention that when they were talking about their multiplier effects, but you have to. The multiplier is only going to be retail until the ETFs are part of retail. Essentially, we have to get through those layers first. Let's see here. Why was Grayscale so small? We went through all that. Let's see here. That one snuck under the radar. Yeah, Grayscale, don't worry. That's a sleeping giant. I mean, they're the biggest one in there. If we go back to this tool that my wonderful subscribers showed me, Grayscale did nothing. But if you go back to this section here, when they're listing about the biggest issuers, look who number 2 is. Okay, so we're still waiting on that. We still, Van Eck, but I mean, Grayscale, they're going to do a lot more. They are a Titan. It's right here. It says they're a Titan. BlackRock's a Titan. Fidelity's a Titan. They are number 2 in the top 3 of what kind of volume and assets under management are available to bring into these ETFs. So don't worry, it's coming. Don't you worry. That being said, let me get back to this here. Fed to lower rates also. Yes, I've covered that. Pump before more pump. Fingers crossed. I think so, George. We might experience a little pullback. Really, the furthest pullback I think we might see is a retest of $2. And if we stay above 220, like I was talking about earlier, then we're definitely in a pump, at least for a little bit. Let's see here. Okay, so I shouldn't expect much of a dip and should buy now before it gets back up to 250. I will not tell anyone when or how to buy. My target to reload at was $2 if it got there, and I bought it 203 as I announced for you guys. We dipped below that, but I said if we see $2 again, I'm going to make sure I get it, and so I did, but that was just me. Let's see here. Ryan Robinson, American flag, thumbs up. So yeah, I've gone through all the chat. Can anyone fill me in? How many people are in the stream here today? It looks like it's holding nicely. Yeah, I'll pull the chart back up here for you guys. We're holding very nicely at 224.2. If I pull it back to the 5-minute chart here, again, 5-minute chart context, this really doesn't mean anything. It's still riding under the EMA. It came up and tested. Remember we talked about, like, for whatever reason in the broad spectrum of trading, when you get into derivatives and all of those things, they really like this EMA 9 line for XRP. You can really pull it out. This is the 5-minute chart, and you can see how it rides. And basically the regular concept of this is if it's above this line, it's bullish. If it's below this line, it's bearish. It's really that simple to track. And as long as you're above, basically, if you were to take, again, not financial advice, but if you were to take like an algorithm buy kind of thing, and you have a 1 hour chart, boom, and this is how a lot of these trading companies do it, and you have a 1 hour chart, and you take this EMA 9 line, and you purchased XRP every time a candle closed above this EMA 9 line, and then sold every time a candle closed underneath the EMA line, or vice versa, depending on how you're hedging. So, like, you can run algorithms like that to make money. That's how a lot of these larger companies do it. And that's why you'll also see what we talk about manipulation candles, because it's hard for them to buy in large quantities, and you'll see those spikes down that happen in, like, a millisecond that make absolutely no sense, like over here. Like these kind of spikes, boom, 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 like those are liquidity grabs. So, anywho, just some analysis for you guys, basic analysis. XRP loves the EMA 9 line. That's what I use to track a lot. So, and as long as we hold above that, we will be in bullish, and it definitely looks like it is holding very, very well. It is cooling off on the RSI, which is good. And this is what it was doing on the 5-minute marker. So if we're trying to look from a technical standpoint, if it's going to hold or not, this is what we were doing from the 5-minute marker. If you look at the RSI, we covered this earlier. So RSI was cooling, but the price was going up. That is bullish. That is a bullish indicator. If the RSI stays the same, so if we look over here, let me just swing this over here. If we look over here where RSI was overbought at this time, where the price was, okay? And then it cooled off and got overbought pretty much close to the same level, but price is higher. And then it cooled off again. So this is probably a cooling phase. Just a brief technical analysis for you on how the charts kind of flow based on institutional buying and selling and how traders do it. Just gives you a little bit more of a grasp of what exactly is happening. Let's see here. Jake Claver's domino theory, I'm sure, right? Well, last night my jaw dropped. I was passing by the TV with the news on, and the anchor mentioned Trump meeting with President Zelensky. Literally said, it cut out. Literally said what? You left out the good part. literally said dash, and I got nothing. Excuse me. I'm so sorry about that. I need a drink. Do I have a drink? Yes, I got a sip. I'm dying over here. But yeah, no, I'm very familiar with Jake Claver's domino theory, and honestly, a lot of the stuff in his theory is on his timeline too. So I mean, I never expected it to fully snap like he thinks it does. He says he has inside information. You know, he's had several, like that's what he's always said. He's had several conversations, which he can't disclose, obviously. And if it were real, if it is real, there's for good reason. But I mean, that's a lot of coordination. So I could never fully buy into it. I like the facts, figures, numbers, logic. And to me, that's a bonus if it comes true. But again, the adoption, the utility, the ETFs, like every technical element of an investment, to me, again, not financial advice, but every technical element of an investment says yes. So that's where I'm at with it. And it, you know, the theories of the domino theories and all that stuff, to me, that's a bonus if it if it comes true. It's really hard not to get swept up in it sometimes. So it's good to stay grounded with reality and with numbers that you can follow sometimes. Let's see here. The oil and the war, basically what Jake was talking about, would cause a spike about oil being the trigger. I was shocked. I don't know. Made me think. Well, I'm going to give you some context, Janine. I don't know how long you followed him. I've followed XRP in this space for a long time, but originally, the theory for him was what was going to cause the kickoff in the cycling was going to be an unwinding of Tether, and which would, because of Tether's connection with Bitcoin. Okay, so that was what he was talking about as far as originally what would kick off that liquidity thing. Then it shifted to oil once Tether basically got a get out of jail free card bought by the governments, because who holds the most U.S. Treasury bonds? You know, follow the money. You gotta look behind the curtain, follow the money. There's some shady stuff still going on over there, but they hold a lot of U.S. Treasuries. So who gets hurt if Tether unravels, right? So we have to connect the dots. I was shocked. I don't know. It made me think. Oh, that makes sense. Just the fact that the anchor said Swift and oil in the same sentence blew my mind. You're right about that. This is becoming more mainstream, and the fact that it's becoming more mainstream is also going to apply more pressure, right? There's a reason my YouTube channel is growing at the rate it is, and that is because more people are looking for information on XRP. Now, a lot of you have probably been in this space, but a lot more people have been looking for information on XRP. That is a good sign, and hopefully I'm presenting the best information I can in a responsible way for you. Let's see here. Jake is way ahead of himself. I don't want to say he's way ahead of himself. I mean, I will give him credit for this, okay? As outlandish as his claims may be, I will give him credit for this. He has stuck to his guns. He has not wavered at all in that, and I will give him credit for that. So whether it comes to pass or not, or whether it comes true or not, I don't know. But he put his feet in the ground with his theory, and I'll give him credit for that. Oh, I see, yeah. So all that being said, XRP is now sitting at 223.7. It looks like we may get that pull back to the 220 line I was predicting. But again, for context, okay, Friday we were at $1.90. Okay, we got down as low as $1.75. So this is a very, very, very strong rebound. Again, tied to the tech sector, which has a lot of fear and panic in it. But the ETF inflows are definitely helping, okay? Hundreds of millions of XRP being held in these ETFs with 2 more coming. So how's everyone doing in the chat? Chat got quiet on me. Any more questions, comments? I mean, I thought you guys would be a little bit more lively with what do we have? 10% run up today? That's great. Hopefully everyone got a nice 10% pump in their bag today. Anyone got any good Thanksgiving plans? My Chiefs are playing on Thanksgiving this year, so that's what I'll be doing. My daughter's with her mom this week, so I'll be hanging out with my girlfriend and her family. Okay, important. Here we go. It was very nice to see green. That's right, but you know what? I think more green's in our future. So looks like 223 here is going to be the support line. We're testing EMA 9 multiple times now. So if we can flip EMA 9, again, this is the 5-minute chart, not the hour chart. But if we can flip EMA 9 and hold above this line, and we'll probably come back, test it again, and move up, that will confirm a bullish momentum reversal, and it would also confirm that this 223 support will be our next level of support. So why is this important? Because every single level of support adds another backstop for us in the event of a pullback. It's more resistance. We want resistance, right? Well, support is more resistance for a downfall. We don't want resistance on the way up. But that being said, we're no longer in overbought territory. It has completely cooled off. It looks like we have buying pressure now. So if we can flip this, volume's been real low here again. Market is closed. But I would like to see us flip this and hold it going into tomorrow, and then have some more positive buying pressure from the ETFs going into day 2. And again, remember, keep in mind, we're not going to see the very full impact of what's happening this week with the ETFs until 7 to 21 days after. So today is like we're finally starting to see the pressure today from last week. Okay? It takes time. It doesn't happen rapidly. Okay, so that's what we're feeling today. Is the ETF inflows from the launches last week? Do you think more green overnight? Again, I think if we flip this EMA line that I was talking about, I think we have more green overnight. So if we can get to 225, I think we're going to see more green overnight. If we can't get to 225, it might fall down as low as 220. Again, not financial advice, Janine, not financial advice to any of you. This is just what I'm reading on the chart, okay? So helpful to have you analyze these charts. Thank you. Hopefully Tuesday won't be pitiful. I'll be patient. How many people we got in the stream right now, Janine? Can you help me out with that? Hopefully you guys enjoy the technical analysis. Let me take a look. I'm just going to take a quick look on Twitter here and see if we have any new updates or news that maybe I missed, or X, I guess is what it's called. And you guys can feel free to follow me on X. It is at Longview Crypto. I mainly am on there just looking up news, and I'll repost anything that I see is important. I'll bookmark stuff that's important. 19 left in the stream. You guys are awesome. Everyone's just kind of hanging out, having a good time. I hope you guys are all enjoying the information. If you're in the stream, please interact in the chat if you have questions. I love interacting in the chat. All of my subscribers know I say it in every chat. The more you interact, the better, the more I can converse with you. I want to talk to y'all. I'm that weird guy. I've already covered all of the information in the stream, and then after that, I just get on here and riff and talk to people. And as long as the stream is hanging out and growing, I will continue to go with it. So, that being said, right now I'm touching base on Twitter here just to make sure we haven't missed any new news. Maybe from any, I saw something from 21 Shares recently. Let's see here. Sorry, I just went silent. This is good. I follow this as well. He's good. He puts out very good information. He fooled me once, but He does put out some very good information. He's showing right here what the Monday close was. It shows bitwise 1.45 million shares at 36,599,000. So you can see he totals all of it. So right here, 1 day, 4 funds, $85,756,000 of inflows. So he tracks the inflows in the shares. I go on the actual ETFs and see what XRP is being held in these in their held off supply, essentially, because ultimately I think that's what's going to affect the supply and to give us the supply shock that we've been talking about. But if you want all of the inflows, there they are for you. Very good information. And I typically retweet or repost this kind of stuff as well. Excuse me. So that being said, let's take a look at the chat. I worked from home today, just nonstop crypto videos back to back. Listen to them, but that's it. I used to do that when I work from home, Janine. Well, I guess I'm working from home now, right? But when I was working for someone, I would occasionally listen to the crypto podcast or two while I was working. Let's see here. What daily volume for XRP can we expect for XRP to get to that $10 to $25 range? I don't think it's necessarily a matter of volume. I think it will be a matter of supply. Of course, volume is going to have an impact, and volume is going to drive order creation, and volume is going to drive volatility. But we're not going to see a $10 to $25 range. You have to think about what kind of growth that is, all right? So a $10 to $25, so right now we're at $2, so a $10 is a 5x. That is explosive growth, okay? That, 500% increase in a month is going to take some kind of shock. So I really don't think volume is going to have anything to do with it. I think it's going to be what XRP is effectively removed from supply, and it's going to be utility being turned on, and then everyone and their mother is going to run for XRP. My opinion, not financial advice, but to see that kind of jump, it will take something massive. That's not, a 500% increase on an asset is not something, laxy-daisy per se. I like the new addition to your background. Which new addition is that? Which one do you like, Janine? Believe it or not, everything in this background has been here. It's just been placed differently. I took some time and rearranged my shot, the frame for you all for live streaming and for videos to the optimal angles per AI, amongst other things, to try and give you guys the best experience possible for streaming. But yeah, I'm guessing you're referring to my one of my XRP symbols. But yeah, I've had that. It's just been stuck in the corner. Oh yeah. Well, so the reason I put not that one. The reason I put this one over here was to go along with the thumbnails, because I have an XRP symbol in every single one of my thumbnails in the top left corner. So really, what I'm trying to replicate, if you look at my thumbnail, I have XRP in this corner, and then I have my city skyline that I'm sitting in front of. So when my TV is actually on and working, let me get it going for you. When my TV is actually on and working, I need to fix it. But it looks like my thumbnail. That was the whole concept of it. Oh, the X above the TV, I had that there before, or not there before. I had it somewhere else before, and it just wasn't showing up. But I actually took some time to really, really seriously think about the frame that I was presenting to you all. So hopefully you guys see the effort. Hopefully everything is much more Hopefully the mic is better for you. Hopefully everything is much more crisp as far as the audio, as far as the picture, as far as how nice it is to look at while I'm on here doing this thing. I'm taking everything into account for y'all. Let's take a look here. So let's see what we're doing here. XRP is back up to 224, 224.1, and it is testing that EMA 9 line. It's testing it again. So yeah, this 223 to 224 range seems like we're chopping here. If you want some technical analysis, again, not financial advice, but if you want some brief technical analysis, I'll just draw a quick trend line. We're starting to form this wedge right here. And I'll grab another line here. Trend line here. And you can see where they converge. And it's also testing EMA 9. So what we'll probably see is this chop back and forth, and it's going to bounce off EMA 9. It might go above it. It might bounce up to this and then come back down. It might bounce down to this and then come back up. But eventually what we're going to see is a breakout one way or another from this triangle, and that will decide what the next move will be. Day traders will try to predict this based on other factors as well to get the best possible price, and that's how they'll scalp it, and they use a lot of leverage. So for instance, when I was day trading, what you can do, this is a 5-minute chart, but what you can do, just to give you context, okay? So instead of, I could risk $100, right? And I could say that, let me draw a box here. So I'm going to go, I need indicators, shapes, rectangles. Okay. So I'm going to draw a quick box here. So I could say this is my stop loss. This is my unit. This is my stop loss. Okay. And I could set it to where each one of these movements, right? So this would be 223 to 223.5. So every half cent. You could set it to where every half cent is $100 or every half cent is $500. So for instance, when I was doing it, I was using $200 increments. So this would be a $200 risk. 1/2 cent would be $200. So if I were to say, I think it is going to hit this line, go up, then I would buy at this line. And if it falls, I get stopped out. I lose $200. But if it goes up and I'm right, then I'm going to make a butt ton of money. And then you have to choose when you're going to, exit and when you're going to get out of it. But that being said, you're not going to be right all the time. You're actually going to be wrong more than you're going to be right. But by honing in your loss here and limiting it to $200, your losses are only one risk unit. But when you get it right, your gains are usually 4 or 5 risk units. So out of every 10 trades, you may only be correct 3 times, but you are still positive for your overall 10 trades. That is day trading in a nutshell. Let's see here. I only know how to do basic trend lines. I just haven't gotten on my computer to do them for XRP at all. Yeah, I mean, really, truthfully, basic is the best way to go. I mean, really, when you start messing around with too many different indicators, then you can create the narrative you want to create. I have found that people can be guilty of that. You can combine indicators to see what you want to see. But if you develop one specific set of rules that you consistently follow, that's a good baseline. Again, not financial advice, but that's a good baseline because you have something to compare it to. If you're constantly messing around with different trends and indicators that can tell you different things, you can tell yourself whatever story you want. You need to have a system before you start trading. Again, my opinion, not financial advice. Let's see here. hoping crypto pans out fine. I won't have to day trade as a side hustle. I'm hoping crypto pans out fine for not just for us, but this is the beginning. Okay, keep in mind, this is the beginning. It hasn't even come online yet. So think about, I don't know how old any of you are who are watching. I don't even know how many people are in the stream at this point or who's going to be rewatching it. I've just been kind of going on a tangent, hanging out with Janine and DM Dowd and George and a lot of my regulars here. But I don't know how old y'all are or how long you've been around, but if you go back to 1995, when the internet was first coming online and AOL and all of those things, that's more advanced than where we are now in crypto. Because at that point, people were using it, okay? Think of what the internet has done since then. We haven't even gotten to that point in crypto, okay? AOL, right? Think of AOL, you got mail, all that stuff, the very beginning of the internet. All that's going to be when the pipes first get turned on, when people first start using it, okay? I'm 41. If I just, I was 11 years old in 1995, if that gives you any context. But all of that being said, I just totally got derailed on my train of thought, but that was the beginning of the internet. That's where we'll be. That's where we'll be when the utility and the clarity and everything finally gets turned on and people actually start using it for the first time. And we're all expecting when that happens to have this major price appreciation, okay? Imagine the internet now versus 1995. We haven't even got to that point with crypto. That's why I get so excited and so amped up about these assets. Again, my opinion, not financial advice, but when I can look back at historical events and see what happened, it gets me excited. Let's see here. All right, but there's 13 people probably left right now. This is dying down. Oh, hang on. I about spoke too soon. There's that EMA line we were talking about, Janine. We are cutting through it with some decent volume right now. I'm going to stay on this for just a second. We're getting a pretty decent push. This is a 5-minute candle. I could take it to the 1 minute, but I'm going to leave it here on the 5 minutes since that's the EMA line we've been tracking. Again, not financial advice, but let's see here. But yeah, we are making a push right now. It's pushing up to this wedge we actually just drew out in this live stream. So it's nice to actually see the technical analysis coming to fruition for us. So we can see how it plays out in real time. You're very welcome, Janine. Thank you. I appreciate it. I like doing the shorts, and the shorts get tons of views, and everyone likes the shorts, and they really bring in subscribers. But to me, this is really what I enjoy doing. Honestly, I may be a little strange that way, but I love coming on here and just talking about this stuff, and going through the news and sharing my thoughts and my takes on what's happening, and hopefully helping you guys maybe understand something a little bit better. And if you get some value from this, please hit the like button, subscribe. This is, that's why I'm here. I'm trying to do what I enjoy doing in a way that hopefully you guys enjoy receiving it. So we did bounce off the trend line though, as we were talking. As you can see, Janine, it played out. It came all the way up here, touched it, and came back. So we need to see if we hold above this blue EMA 9 line. We're still riding it. So it's kind of playing out exactly how we anticipated. We're on the upper end of it now. We're waiting to see if we can push through this trend line. Let me see here. While we're doing that, I wonder if it's 4 o'clock now, so I doubt we're going to get any new market news unless something political happens. As far as... Yeah, I don't think we have any other, as far as macro events like jobs report data or anything else coming down the pipeline this week. Since it is the Thanksgiving week, it's probably going to be a little bit different. Now, I will say this. I'm going to pop out of here real quick. I will say this. Historically, okay, when the markets close for holidays and there's an extended period, weird things happen. Okay, prices skyrocket, prices drop. Okay, big moves happen when markets are closed in crypto. So just be prepared for that. I know, Janine, you've been being patient. You said you've been waiting for a buying opportunity, but that being said, if our wedge holds true, we just flipped EMA 9 and crossed over the wedge, and it's immediately trying to pull back and retest it just like we talked about. So if we bounce off this wedge and go up, it is not going to stop running right now. We have bullish momentum, and it should continue. Again, not financial advice. You know, these things can change, but this is what we mapped out. This is exactly what we were talking about, and we got to map it all out and play it all out in the stream. And when I do day trading, like, this is literally the exact kind of thing I follow, but I don't do it with crypto. I like to day trade the AMD stock personally, because it has such perfect volatility to get scalps. Usually when I do it, if I have a perfect setup, I'll run in there and scalp something, make a few $100, get out. Just if I want some spending money. But yeah, we're holding above this right now. Isn't breaking through it. What's with the star eyes, Janine? You like the scalping idea? Again, not financial advice. This is just things I've done. I like to keep it simple, stupid. I like to think I'm intelligent through my simplicity. As far as coming up with simple systems that work. So you never go broke taking a profit. And that's what they said with the system. And this is important, actually. We have more positive buying pressure. We're at 225 and climbing fast now. We retested this line, and now it's just going boom, boom, boom. I should expand my channel to trades possibly in the future. Maybe. We'll see. That's touchy. I wanted to kind of more share my expertise and get out of the trading. The reason I don't follow the trading so much anymore personally is because my brain can't handle the stress that comes along with it. Sitting there just watching a chart tick, 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 tick all day. After the strokes, it actually wears me out really, really fast. This is playful, when I'm just calling out trend lines and stuff like that. But at the same time, too, I don't want my thoughts and opinions to be responsible for someone potentially losing money if they misunderstand me. There's, that's just a touchy thing. That's why I constantly tell people, do your own research. This isn't financial advice. I'm just trying to share and educate and grow awareness. But so I'm just trying to, grow and educate and build awareness around it, and hopefully present information that answers a question or provides some value and allows, for instance, if you're interested in the trading analysis and stuff like that, it may not be something that I do all the time, but maybe something I said or did unlocks something for you that you can take into the future, or maybe it's something someone wants to have a one-on-one with me later down the line. They know it's available. It may not be something I cover all the time. So I do think there's potentials for that kind of thing. But again, that's why I do it. It's more for education and just try to help. Hey, that's the idea. It's not necessarily do what I love, and I want to do what I love and what makes me happy, but it's also what I can mentally handle at times now too, and that's been a real struggle for me, just having to accept that in and of itself, because I've always been a white knuckle person, doesn't go to the doctor and all that stuff, and that got me in big trouble. Does anyone know where to buy during the pre-sale? Okay, that's spam. Let's see. I don't think I can do anything with that. Can I? No, it's not letting me do anything. Huh. It gives me 3 dots to click on next to the chat, but it doesn't let me do anything to it from here. I'm gonna have to do some more research on checking the live stream numbers and interacting with the chats and stuff like that from OBS with this new live stream software that I'm using, because the YouTube streaming gets glitchy and drops the mic, and it's just not as good whatsoever. And price is still climbing. We are at 225.6 and going, so it looks like the pump will continue. But all that being said, guys, I think this has been a great stream. I'm going to get off here for now, but I will be back on tomorrow morning, and I will be doing another at least 1 or 2 shorts tonight updating what happened with the ETFs. If you enjoyed the stream, I make sure you leave the like, make sure you comment, make sure you chat. I'll see you guys tomorrow morning. Later.